This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everybody, good morning. So today I want to show you the first example. I want to introduce the SOA example. A small example, I don't go for a complex one. I will go with this very small and simple use case. Okay. And I will show you the different things in JDeveloper. I mean, how to operate the JDeveloper, what are all the different palettes in JDeveloper, and how to make one small web service in JDeveloper. So we'll see one by one. Okay. So what I will do is first, let me tell you the requirement. Suppose I want to create one small web service, that web service will perform kind of hello world. If any programming language uh, we start with hello world, right? So even in Oracle SOA, what I suggest is let's start our Oracle SOA journey with a hello world web service. Okay, hello world web service. It's a SOAP web service, guys. In all our previous sessions, we discussed only about SOAP web service. There is another web service. What is that? REST service. REST web service or REST service. So this is SOAP web service we are going to talk about, but there is another web service, REST web service, or you can say REST service, or you can say REST API. I will tell you what is this, we will discuss little later. But now I'm talking about the first category of web service, which is SOAP web service. Okay. So what I want to do is in this SOAP web service, I want to accept input XML, something like request. Request is the complex element which contains username as the simple element. Are we good? So the input XML input format is request is the complex element, username is the simple element. Okay. Similarly, I'm expecting output XML, something response which contains wish as the output. So any question till now? So this is the input format I'm expecting. This is the input format I'm expecting to my web service, and my web service should respond in this format. Okay. And let's say example, if I take the example, Ravi is the username. I'm expecting the output, hello Ravi. So how a string Ravi becomes hello Ravi? We need to concatenate hello with username. Whatever username is coming in the web service as input, I need to concatenate with hello. Okay, or hi, some wishes. Okay, I need to concatenate a string with my input string. A small business logic was. So what is the logic here? Concatenation, that's it, nothing else. A simple concatenation. Any questions in the requirement? Any questions in the requirement? Yes, no, something?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So to design the web service, what are all required? We need XSD, we need request XSD, we need response XSD, we need WSDL, we need body of the web service. In the body of the web service, we need to write the concatenation logic, right? So we know how to write XSD, request XSD, we know how to write response XSD, we know how to write WSDL. And we need to see something new. What is that? How to write the body of the web service with a concat logic. Okay, concatenation logic. This is what we want to see today. Okay, right. So where we do the SOA development, SOA program development. So the program development we do in JDeveloper. So JDeveloper, how we get the JDeveloper? In the previous session, we saw how to install SOA Quick Start. Okay, first we installed JDK and then we installed SOA Quick Start. So in SOA Quick Start is the IDE which helps us to design or develop SOA programs. Okay, so what you need to do for that? You need to you need to open JDeveloper. I shown you in the previous session, but anyway, let me show you again. So I installed SOA Quick Start in this folder. SOA Quick Start 12214. Under that, standard folder structure, Oracle, middleware, Oracle home. This is standard folder structure. Under that, you can see something called JDeveloper. Go to JDeveloper, and if you see this icon, jdeveloper.exe, right click and click open. Once you click on it, it will take 2 to 3 minutes, or sometimes it may take 5 minutes as well, according to your machine's performance. Okay, so once you open this application, the JDeveloper will be opened. So I suggest you to create a shortcut on your desktop. It's very simple. Instead of traverse through all the folders, I suggest you to go with a shortcut. What you can do, send it to desktop. If you do this, a shortcut will be created on your desktop. Okay. Now I just started the JDeveloper. I just started my JDeveloper, something like this. Okay. You can see an empty JDeveloper. Okay. So now what we want to do is, I will introduce few palettes, how to operate the JDeveloper along with the example, guys. We are going to discuss this example, right? This web service, but when we are discussing this web service, I'm also going to show you some options in JDeveloper, some of the few options what you are going to use in our regular practice. Okay, all right. So first thing, if you want to create any web service in JDeveloper, we need to create something called SOA application. Okay, under this we can create SOA project. First we need to create SOA application. Under that we need to create SOA project. Sir, you can create any number of SOA project. It is not restricted to only one. You can create any number of SOA projects. Are we good? But you can have one application. One application is enough. One SOA application is enough. So in that SOA application, you can create any number of SOA projects. So first I will show you how to create SOA application. Then I will show you how to create SOA project. So SOA application is just a grouping. That's it. I mean, I have 10 SOA projects. Okay, sir, each SOA project is a program. Okay, each SOA project is a program. So, but we are not calling it as program. We are calling it as project. I will tell you the reason why we are calling it as project instead of program. See, generally Java program, C program, CPP program, Python program, this is how we call it, right? But for SOA, we are not calling it as program, we are calling it as project. I will tell you the reason why it is called as project. Okay, but anyway, first I want to show you how to create the SOA application. Let me go to JDeveloper. Okay, so in JDeveloper, go to window menu and then select applications. You need to select something called applications. If you select this, a palette will come. This is the palette. I'm calling it as palette. Okay, applications palette. By default, it will be available here. Suppose if you don't see this palette, what you can do, go to Windows, select the applications palette. Done. And you can see new application, open application. So as of now, we don't have any application. This is the first time we came here to create the application, right? So we must go with new application. Just click on the new application. Okay, and then you can see here there are several options in your JDeveloper. See, in JDeveloper you can do many things, not just SOA program, SOA application. There are many things we can do in JDeveloper. I want to go to SOA tire. See, this is OSB tire, service bus tire, and this is SOA tire. Okay, just select SOA tire. Once you select SOA tire, you can see there is an option called SOA application. Just click OK. It's a navigation, it's just navigation, guys, nothing else. Everything is drag and drop in SOA. Okay, you just do the proper navigation. Select OK. So once you select OK, see, it is asking to provide me a name for my application. I need to give a name. What I will do, June 2022. So I mean, you can give any name. Okay, so any ABC is fine. What I want to give, June 2022 SOA application. This is my application. Okay, you can give ABC, XYZ, whatever you want. Okay, Unit 22 SOA application. Click, finish. No, don't go to next screen. Just say finish. Any questions till now? If you click finish, it will create a project. It will create an application for you. Any questions, guys? Anyone have any question? Shall I click finish button?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me click finish button. Observe what is going to happen in this palette. See, applications palette is there, right? Just observe this palette. Let me click finish. If I click finish, you can see an application created. Observe here, changes in the palette. Taking time. Bye.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Now, if you see this, guys, once I click on create application button in the pop-up in the wizard, now you can observe there is an application created, June 2022 SOA application, June 2022 SOA application, along with a default project, This is default. I mean, our intention is we did not made any configurations to create the project, but when you create a SOA application, it will be created with a default project. Okay. Now, let me show you some information here. Okay. Let me show you some of the options. So we created one SOA application and one project, correct? So at the time of SOA application creation, see, if you place your mouse, cursor on the application name, it will show you the path of the SOA application. C drive JDeveloper my work, C drive JDeveloper my work. Under that, my application name. Okay, this is the location it is getting created. I mean, if you create a new application, anytime if you create a new application, okay, SOA tire, SOA application. See, here is the directory. I forgot to show you when I am creating the previous application. Okay, that's what I opened the SOA application once again. See, when you are creating a SOA application, this is the directory where the SOA application is going to create. Okay, it's your choice. Either you can use the default location. This is the default location in any machine. In any machine, this is the default location. On top of it, it is your choice whether you want to go with this location or you can create the SOA application in some other folder as well. We are okay to create the SOA application in any folder. Any questions? Okay, so but now let me go to the default location and see this project. See this application, C drive, JDeveloper, my work, and what is my application name? June 2022 SOA application. You can see June 2022 SOA application. Yes, this is my application name. You can see the application. If you open this application folder, under this you can see project 1. This is what we saw in the JDeveloper. This is the application which contains project 1. Not only project 1, you can create more than one project under one application. Is the point clear? I told you in the beginning, right? One SOA application contains multiple SOA projects. Okay, the same thing I'm showing you here. This is my application which contains one project as of now. Maybe I can create project 2, project 3, project 4, any number of projects under one application. Okay, that. And the important point is every SOA application contains a file called JWS. Every SOA application contains a file called JWS. Let me show you another SOA application. See, these are all my different SOA applications I created for different purpose. Okay, if you go to any SOA application, it contains a JWS file. Each SOA application contains a JWS file. You can see even our SOA application, see this is the folder, our application folder. If you go to this application folder, there is a JWS file. Okay, let me open this JWS file in Notepad++. If you see this, one important section this is one important section in our JWS file. It will list out active SOA projects. It will show you active SOA projects. Okay. As of now, our application contains only one SOA project. As of now, our application contains only one SOA project. Okay, that's what it is. It contains only one project name. Suppose if our application contains another SOA project, okay, one more SOA project. I'm just giving an example, something like this. If our SOA project, if our application contains another SOA project, you can see the second entry like this. Okay, as of now, we don't have any project. I just want to remove this. Okay, done. So now, this is one important point, the JWS file. The JWS file contains a list of active SOA projects. Okay, why I am stressing on active SOA project, I will tell you. I will show you in few minutes. Okay, let's see the another thing. Okay, if you see this, application folder name June 2022 SOA application, correct? Application folder name. Let me go to this. Application folder name. This is the one, right? Application folder name. JWS file name .jws. Yes or no? This is what we saw just now, right? Application folder name. Sorry. Yeah, application folder name and the .jws file name. Two things. Let's say, suppose the application folder name is ABC as an example. Let's assume folder name is ABC and the JWS name is xyz.jws. Suppose if it is in this way, okay, then XYZ will be considered as application name. Folder name is ABC, JWS name is xyz.jws. In that case, your SOA application name is called as XYZ. I mean, the SOA application name which is visible in your JDeveloper. What will be visible? ABC or XYZ? Which is visible in JDeveloper?
XYZ.
XYZ will be visible in your JDeveloper. XYZ will be visible in your JDeveloper. So my intention here is application name decided based on JWS file name, not based on the folder name. Point is clear? Application name decided based on JWS name, not based on folder name. Clear? Okay. Now. So under application, you have project one, right? If you go to the project, even for a project, see, this is project one is the name of the folder. If you go inside, each project contains one JPR file, JPR. Okay. SOA project folder name. SOA project folder name. SOA project folder name is project one. Okay. And SOA, I will say JPR file name is equal to project1.jpr. So, okay, this is what we see here. If you go here, see, this is the project folder name. Project one is the project folder name. And then this is the JPR name. Same concept like application here, guys. Suppose if this is ABC, if the folder name is ABC and the JPR name is xyz.jpr. So tell me, what is the name of the project? Come on.
XPR.
Name of the project. Someone tell me, what is the name of the SOA project?
XYZ.jpr.
Is everyone following?
Yes, sir.
But I'm not getting response from Vikram. And who is this? Sampath, right? Okay, so what is the name of the project in this example? If the folder name is ABC and the project name is JPR name is xyz.jpr, so then the project name becomes xyz is the project name. Okay, application name depends on JWS file name, project name depends on JPR file name. Okay, done. So now that means here application name becomes XYZ. You see XYZ here, and the project name you see XYZ here. Okay, according to the JWS and JPR. And see, every application can have multiple projects. I told you, right? Every application will have multiple projects. You can open and close projects. It is possible to open and close projects. It's very simple. Right click on the project, simply right click on the project, and then you can, there is an option called delete project. Okay, when you click on delete project, there are two options. You want to delete the project from application, and you want to delete the project completely. Physical deletion, if you are expecting, you need to select the second option. Okay, code will be deleted from the file system. Code will not be back available anymore. So, but I don't want to delete my code. I don't want to delete my project one. I select the first option, remove project from application. Okay, that means project will be removed from application, but still it is available in the file system. I will show you. Say yes. So then what happened? See here, save it. Save it, don't forget, save it. So then what happened? The project is not visible in JDeveloper. But if you go to the file system, where is it? Okay, if you go to the file system, my work, June 22 SOA application, you can see the project here. Project is available in the file system, but not available in the JDeveloper. It is not available in the JDeveloper because I closed it. Okay. If you observe the JWS file now, it is not active, right? It's not active anymore. If you go to the JWS file, just reload the file. If you see active projects, there are no active projects in my application. List of children, right? So it's very simple to reopen the project. What we need to do, this is a small icon, you just click on it and you can say open project, and then you can go to your C drive, the same folder structure, C drive, JDeveloper, my work. Under that, you can select your application folder and you can go to the project, whichever project you want to open. Under that, you can see a JPR file. Just select the JPR file and click open. Then what happened? Your project will be opened. Save everything, save all. This is the save all icon. Just save everything. Your project is open. We are able to open the project and go back to the JWS file and watch it. Go back to the JWS file and you can see the project is active. Okay. Any questions as of now? Right. So let me. Okay. Thank you. So if you see, we closed and opened a project, right? Similarly, we can close an application as well. You just need to click on the application, right click on the application. So don't go for delete. For application, you can use an option called close application. If you click on close application, application will be closed from JDeveloper. Okay, if you click on delete application, application will be deleted from the file system. I just want to go for close application. See this application closed from my JDeveloper, and if you go to the backend, I mean file system, but still you can see the application. So application. Okay, right. Let me open the application. See, last time I created the application, right? New application, but now I want to open the application. Just click on it. And then where is our application? June 2022 SOA application. Open it. And here you can see JWS file. Browse the JWS file. So it's very simple, guys. If you want to open application, you need to browse JWS file. If you want to open project, you need to browse JPR file. Okay. See, my application is back and my project is back. Any questions? Any questions as of now?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Let me concentrate on requirement, our requirement. We discussed about a requirement, right? So this is the requirement. We want to create this web service. For that, I want to create a Hello World web service. Okay, I want to create a project and I want to name it as Hello World. Okay, so it's very simple. In the application, we can create any number of projects. That's what we discussed. So I want to create a second project here. In the same application, I want to create a second project. It's very simple. Go to this icon, drop down icon, and you can see new project. So once you click on this new project, if you click this new project, you can see an option called SOA tire. SOA tire. Under SOA tire, you can create you have an option called SOA project. Last time we selected SOA application, but now I want to select SOA project. Click OK. So once you click OK, a wizard will come. It will ask you some details. So what is the project name? I want to say Hello World. Hello World. Okay. And see the directory. I'm taking the default directory. C drive, JDeveloper, my work, June 2022 SOA application. Under that, Hello World. Okay, done. I just want to select this SOA suite. I mean, our project is related to SOA suite, right? So it's a SOA program. So I want to select this one. The features I'm expecting SOA features because I want to create the SOA project. So I selected SOA features. Click next. In the next screen, it is asking composite name. Leave the default one. I will tell you what is this composite is. Okay, leave the default naming convention and start from empty composite. I will show you the other options going forward. Okay, but now just go with empty composite and then click finish. Okay, now if you see this, guys, we are having one new SOA project. And you can go and just observe, just for observation purpose, go and see the application in the backend folder system, project 1 and Hello World, 2 projects we have, and open the JWS file. If you open the JWS file, I've opened this with Notepad++. Okay, if you open the JWS file, you can see here there are 2 active projects. Any question? Any question as of now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so we have 2 active projects. So this is the project we want to work on. Let me expand this. If you expand this whole project, you can see there are set of subfolders. Okay, events, schema, test suite, transformations, wisdoms. So almost everything is empty. Every folder is empty. There is one file called Hello World. Let me open this. Guys, we call this file as composite file. What is the name of the file? Composite. It is composite file. We need to learn about this file. And guys, this file contains 2 different views: design view, source view. Design view and source view. Okay, you can open the source view and see what it contains. If you observe this, this is also XML family document. This is also XML family document, and it contains bunch of elements. Composite is the root element, property is the some element. Okay, it has some coding which we never discussed, but it is what my intention here is. I want to show you that it is also XML family document. See, the document started with a processing instruction. Correct? And the composite name is Hello World. See this, the file name here, what you see, Hello World, right? Hello World. Okay, this label, the label what you are seeing in JDeveloper depends on this keyword. If you say ABC here, it will display as ABC. Is it clear? Any questions?
Sir.
Okay, the name what you wrote here, whatever the name was assigned here, that is the name of the file displayed here in the project list. Okay, but if you go to backend, the file system, Hello World contains one JPR file. Along with that, there is a folder called SOA. If you see the substructure, Hello World, which contains SOA folder, correct? SOA folder. So SOA folder, under the SOA folder, there is a file called composite.xml. But how it is visible in your JDeveloper? Visible as Hello World. But the file The file name in the file system, the file name is composite.xml. In the file system, file name is composite.xml, but it is displayed with a different label in JDeveloper. Any questions till now? Any questions?
No, sir.
Suppose if
No,
we
sir.
want to rename the composite, what we need to do? Do we really need to rename the file or the name attribute? Which one we need to rename?
Name attribute. Name attribute.
Name attribute. If you want to rename the composite, you need to rename the name attribute. Okay, that's what you need to do. Anyway, so observe the coding part here, guys. So there is something. What is the root element here? Composite. What is the root element of XSD document? Schema. Schema is the root element in XSD document. Definitions is the root element in WYSIWYDL document. So what is the root element in composite file? Composite. Composite is the root element of composite file. Okay, you need to remember, maybe these things will help you when you are doing the real projects. Okay. Okay, right. Now let's get back to the design view. Now I'm in design view. So guys, here I want to design my web service. This is the place. This is the canvas. This is the canvas where we are going to design our programs. Instead of development, instead of saying development, I'm saying design, because we do drag drop. We don't write the coding. We do drag drop and design the programs. Okay. Right. Anyway, let me design my first program. To design the first program, we need request XSD, response XSD, WYSIWYDL, and then body of the web service. These four things we need to do. So first start with request XSD. So what I will do, there is a folder structure. See guys, there is a default folder structure you can observe in the project. So schema is nothing but XSD. I want to create two XSD documents. What we practiced it, right? How to create XSDs. I will show you the navigation, how to create XSDs in JDeveloper. Say right click on the schema, new. What we want XSD. We want to create XSD. I don't see the option here. Go to from gallery. These are all the shortcuts. I mean fast access. But if you don't see the required component here, you can go to from gallery. Okay, click on from gallery, and you can see here there is an option called XML. That means XML family languages. The category it is showing XML family. Under that, we want to create XSD, XML schema, XSD full form, XML schema definition, correct? XML schema definition document or XML schema document. You can say XML schema definition document or XML schema document, XSD. Okay. Now I want to create the XML schema. Click OK. So you can give some naming convention to this XSD document. I will say request doc. Every XSD must have a target namespace. I will say practice.com/demo hello world, and this is request XSD. So target namespace is just a user defined keyword. We know that, right? When you are creating an XSD, that XSD contains user defined keywords and predefined keywords. So target namespace mostly handles all the user defined keywords. We'll see. Okay, click OK button. Once you click OK button, it is going to create an XSD for you. You can see a file, request.doc.xsd. Okay, so again, this XSD document contains design view and source view. This XSD document contains design view and source view. You can see that here. Okay, so you can develop an XSD in the design view as well, but I suggest you to concentrate on the source view. Okay, go to the XSD document. Inside schema, open tag and close tag, you can develop your XSD. Any question?
No, sir.
No? Okay, observe the XSD document, guys. There is something called element and annotation. We don't need it. Either leave it or delete it. That's not an issue. We don't need it. It's just a documentation. You can add some comments. What is this XSD meant for? Okay. You want to describe something about the XSD document, you can add some comment here. This is a documentation, nothing else. It is just a documentation, nothing else. Okay. Right. So, and observe, there is a target namespace. There is a target namespace which is user defined, and we only provided our own string. Okay. And see, there is an XSD schema namespace which is provided by W3C schools. Correct? This is the XMLNS which is provided by W3C schools. This is for all the predefined keywords of XSD document: schema, element, annotation, documentation. These all are predefined keywords. Okay, and the prefix they are using is XSD. Okay, you can change it if you want to replace XSD with any other keyword. Prefix is user defined, right? You can change it if you want. Anyway, I don't want to disturb that. I want to design the XSD as per our requirement. As per our requirement, our XSD needs two elements. One is complex element and one is simple element. Okay, let me design the XSD. So you know how to write an XSD, correct? We learn it. Element name is equal to, what is the element I'm expecting? Request.
Request.
Under this XSD. Yeah, you can speak out, guys. Complex type.
Complex type.
Under this
Sequence.
Under this, I want to go for. See, when I'm typing, I'm also getting the help. You see here. Okay, sequence. Under this, XSD element name is equal to username. Type is equal to string. String is a predefined keyword. You should prefix string. Okay, done. And then we need to close sequence. See, it is doing autofilling. I just type slash, it is closing the tag. I'm not typing everything. Okay, done. So now what happened? I created one XSD as per our requirement, which needs one complex element and one simple element. Is it clear? Okay, so guys,
Yes,
you can create the response XSD in the same document as well. You no need to create a new document and create the response XSD. But I want to, it's just a practice, right? So I want to show you how to create the separate document. Okay, it's not mandatory to have second XSD document for second XSD. You can keep multiple XSDs in one document. Okay, so now I want to create one more XSD document. See now XML schema, either you can select here, you can see the XML schema option, either you can select here or you can go to gallery, from gallery. Are we good? So in the previous XSD I shown you how to select from gallery, right? Now we can select directly, the option is available here, you can select it XML schema. Okay, this time I want to name it as response doc, and the target namespace of this document practice.com/demo/hello-world/response. Sir, is it mandatory to follow this naming convention? Practice.com demo hello world response. Is it mandatory?
Yes, sir.
Are these keywords are mandatory keywords to follow?
No, sir.
No, this is not mandatory to follow. I'm just following some convention, that's it. Okay. Keywords are not static here. Keywords are not fixed keywords. You can follow some naming convention, that's it. Okay. Click OK. So now I can see there is a response XSD. There is a new document. Okay, suppose guys you are not interested to use the XSD as prefix, you can change it. Let's say I want to use it as NS1. Instead of XSD, I want to use it as NS1. You can change it every place. You know the base rule. How we can use the prefix. Correct or not? So you need to modify every place where we are using the qualifier. Okay. Right. So now I want to design one XSD. This time the qualifier is NS1. Element name is equal to response, which contains NS1 complex type
NS1
one
Sequence.
sequence. Okay, under this I'm expecting
NS1 element name.
one simple element. We are expecting one simple element. Name is
Element name is
equal
equal to
we want
response.
to say fish. We want to say
Sorry,
fish. Type is equal to
string.
string.
NS1 string, sir.
NS.
String must have a prefix. String must have a prefix. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. And then close sequence, close complex type, and then close element. You can reformat it. Reformat. Okay. Now you can see our XSD, whatever XSD we want as per our requirement. We need one request XSD. We need one response XSD. Are we good? So this is what we learned in the previous sessions, right? How to write XSD by our own, how to write WSDL by our own. Correct? So now request XSD is ready, response XSD is ready. The next thing what we need to design, that is WSDL. We need to design a WSDL. See here you can see there is a folder called WSDL. Right click on it, new, and you can design the WSDL. You don't see any option called WSDL. What you can do, go to from gallery. If you go to from gallery and here you select, do we see WSDL here? No, suppose if you don't know the navigation, where is the option called WSDL? What you can do, there is a search option, WSDL. You can select the WSDL, type it, search for a WSDL, okay, and you can select the WSDL builder. What it is, opens the WSDL create dialog in which you create a WSDL document. To enable this option, you must select the project or a file with the project. Opens this WSDL document which allows you to create a WSDL document by handy. Yeah, let's go to builder. Okay, WSDL builder. Click OK. We'll see what it will do. So now we got a WSDL builder. We got a WSDL builder and the file name. WSDL document will have a file name, right? So I will say Hello World Interface. I'm just giving some name. Okay, it is user-defined keyword. WSDL also needs a target namespace. WSDL also needs a target namespace, which is a user-defined keyword. Practice.com/demo, and this is Hello World project. Hello World project, and this is Hello World interface. I'm just following some convention, nothing else. Okay, Hello World interface. So you are clear till this. See here, if you see, guys, this is called as namespace, but it is actually target namespace of the WSDL. Okay, it is target namespace of WSDL, and WSDL contains port type. WSDL contains port type. I will port type name. Port type name is user defined, right? I will say Hello World port type. Hello World port type, and WSDL contains, each port type contains an operation, right? This is Hello World operation. These all are user-defined keywords. Whatever you filled here, whatever the properties you fill here, file name is user-defined, namespace, nothing but target namespace in this case, which is user-defined, port type is user-defined, operation is user-defined. And the interface type, select synchronous interface. I will explain what I mean by synchronous interface in the next example. So in this example, just select the synchronous interface. Synchronous interface means when you are designing the WSDL with an operation, operation must contain input and output parameters. Operation must contain input and output parameters. Let me open any one example which we did the practice. WSDL example. We used WSDL along with namespace as well, right? Namespace. WSDL with namespace. Let me open this. Order interface. If you see this WSDL, this is the port type name, which is user defined. This is the operation name, which is user defined. Hope you remember. Hope you all remember. Port type name,
Yes.
operation name are user defined keywords. The same thing we are doing in JDeveloper. Port type name, I provided a user defined keyword. Operation name, I provided a user defined keyword. And here we have input parameter and output parameter. If an operation contains input parameter and output parameter, that means it is a synchronous operation. Synchronous operation. I will explain what is the synchronous operation and what are the other types of operations. I will explain in the further example. Don't worry at this point of time. So now here in the drop down list, we can see three options: one-way interface, synchronous interface, asynchronous interface. I'm selecting only synchronous interface. We'll discuss about the interfaces more detail in the next example. Now, so what is the input? See here, input, output, and fault. So you remember the syntax of WSDL? We discussed the syntax of WSDL, right? If I open the syntax document, where is the WSDL syntax? If I open the WSDL syntax document, which we discussed, see in the port type, we can have operation. Operation contains input parameter, output parameter, fault parameters, multiple fault parameters. The same thing if you see here, you can have input parameter, output parameter, fault parameter. Okay. So input parameter is, we need to design input parameter. What is input parameter here? Input parameter is mapped to a message name. Input parameter mapped to a message name. Message is an alias name of XSD, correct? Input parameter mapped to message. Message is an alias name of XSD. So we already have XSDs. We already created XSDs. Now I just need to configure this parameter. What I need to do, click on the plus icon. Part name, see, we are creating the message block now. We are creating the message block. So instead of typing the WSDL manually, I'm showing you the graphical way how you can do the WSDL. Okay. So part name, you can give anything, XYZ. Okay. And XSD, you need to select the XSD. See, already we have two XSD documents in our project. I need to browse it. Let's browse it. Project schema files. I have request schema doc and response schema doc. So now I'm talking about input. So select the request XSD. Okay, done. Similarly, output. Select the plus icon. You can say something here. Part name is user defined. And select the XSD. This time I'm talking about output, so I will select the response XSD. Done. So input parameter configured, output parameter configured, fault parameter is optional at this point of time. I don't want to do any configuration here. Simply say okay. So now what happened, if you click the OK button, a new WSDL document will be created, and you can see this is the graphical representation of your WSDL document. You can also check the source view. Go to source view. This is the WSDL we discussed in our previous sessions. Observe this, we have type section. We learn all this stuff. Okay, we have type section which contains first schema and second schema. Guys, it is allowed. You can have two type sections as well. You can have second type section with one schema. This is also allowed. You got my point? You can have multiple type section. See this. This is one type section. This is second type section. So few import statements we have in the first type section, few import statements in the second type section. Both are allowed. Okay. Anyway, in our example, two XSDs imported into the type section, in one type section. So second type section is not required anymore. Okay, I just deleted it. Any question? Any question as of now?
No, sir.
No. And if you observe here, this is the import statement which contains a relative path. This is relative path. We did not discuss about relative path, right? So relative path means my current document is WSDL. From WSDL, how I can access an XSD document. From WSDL, how I can access an XSD document, not the complete folder path of XSD. We are not looking for physical path of XSD. We are looking for relative path here. Relative path means from the current document to target document, how we can access. See, so this is my WSDL. Hello world interface.WSDL. Okay. From here, I need to go one step above. I mean, I need to enter. This WSDL document should go out of WSDL folder. See this, the convention. If you see the folder structure, this hello world document trying to access XSD document. This WSDL document trying to access XSD document. For that, it should go one level up. That means SOA folder. Dot dot means go back to one folder. Where dot dot means go back to one folder. If you go back to one folder, the current folder becomes SOA. Okay, from the current document, go back to one folder, that is SOA. From here, go to schemas. Go to schemas. Under schemas folder, you can see request doc.xsd, response doc.xsd. Is it clear? This is how the path was constructed. We call it, we don't call it as physical path, we call it as relative path. Relative path. Okay. And see everything in this WSDL document we discussed. Every keyword in this document which we used, we discussed. So how many namespaces we have? Target namespace as XMLNS, target namespace as XMLNS. Okay, this is request XSD, this is response XSD, and this is WSDL namespace provided by W3C schools. This is what we discussed in the WSDL session, right? WSDL with namespace concept. Any questions?
No, sir.
Any questions? So I shown you today how to design the WSDL in a graphical way. Okay, even though you don't know how to write all this stuff, this is fine. Anybody can create the WSDL. They no need to know how to write the WSDL by their own. But it will be very difficult for them if they don't know what is this content is. It will be very difficult for them to understand how, even though they can design the WSDL in graphical view, but it will be very difficult to understand when we are doing customizations. Okay, now we have complete control on this WSDL. We know each line of this WSDL. What is this? What is this? We know everything. Okay, if we want to do some customization, it will be very easy for us. That's what we spent almost 1 week of our time just to understand the basics. Hope you understand the importance why we spent the time on basics. Okay, anyway, I'm good with request XSD, I'm good with response XSD, I'm good with the WSDL. All three documents ready. All three documents ready in the project. Correct? Save everything. Now we need to talk about a file called composite. Let me go to composite file. This is hello world file, which is nothing but composite.xml. Sir, in this file, there are 3 sections: exposed services, components, external references. So composite file contains 3 things, 3 sections. Composite file contains 3 sections. What are they? Exposed services, components, and the third one is external references. Okay, there are 3 sections. If we configure a component, something, if you configure on this canvas, so see this guys, in this canvas, if you do something, so these are all the different components. You can see the list, components list. Okay, there are different components you can configure on this canvas, and each component is meant for a specific reason. Each component has a purpose. Are we good, sir? Each component has a purpose. So you can configure each component at a different location. I mean, suppose if I take this ADF-BC, if I take AQ, if I take B2B or something, okay, you can drag drop it at a specific location. Not, I mean, everything is not possible to place at one location. Each component is meant for a specific location on these three parts of the composite. Okay, suppose if you configure something in exposed services, if you configure something under exposed services pane, P-A-N-E, pane, if you configure something in exposed services pane, that component is called service component. Service component. So we should be good with this naming convention. Based on that, the communication become easy. Okay, simply if I say service component, you should understand, okay, the component was configured under exposed services section. Okay, next thing. So if you configure something in the center pane, okay, that is called component. That is just a component. Component. Okay, And then if you configure something in the external reference component, it is called reference component. Okay, the naming conventions. If you configure something in the third pane, in this pane, that is called reference component. Reference component, you just remember that. Okay, the naming convention is very important. So, right. So what I will do, I will stop here today's session. It's almost, we reached our time, right? So I will stop here. Tomorrow's session, I will show you how we configure the SOA web service in this canvas, because we are ready with the request XSD, response XSD, and the WSDL. Now we just need to configure the web service in SOA, and we need to design the body of the web service. That's that part we want to see. Okay. Any questions till now? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So I will continue the session tomorrow, and I will show you the web service.
Sampath, you are facing some issue, right?
Let me stop the recording.